Hi, today I'm going to talk to you about my 5 top low maintenance plants to grow in a sunny border. So my first one is the lovely alliums that you can see just here behind me. So these are a bulb planted in around September time, and you don't really have to do anything to them. They will come up, they will usually flower in about May, with these lovely pom-poms. You get them in a white colour as well, and I think there's blue and pink varieties, but most of them are this purple in varying different shades. And yeah, they come up, they're lovely flowers. They dry really nicely as well, so I leave mine in the borders, sometimes even right through winter, because when they will obviously sort of die back, but then when the frost goes onto them in the winter, they look really, really magical. And you can see here that I've planted them in like a big load of them in one border, so I'm hoping in the winter, provided they haven't been all knocked down, when the frost comes it will look really effective as well. So that's my number one. Now I am going to take you on a little trip around the garden with me, so hopefully you won't get too seasick here, but just heading up the garden. Unfortunately, none of the 5 plants I wanted to talk about weren't all in the same spot. So my next one then is an iris. So let me just make sure I get you in the right position there. Oh, I'm just going to have to angle it up a bit. This is fun, isn't it? A bit all over the place. Right, so this is an iris here. I'm just going to bend that down to show you. So this is a kind of brown and cream variety. If you can open it there, you can see that lovely kind of orange innards. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. So they come in loads of different colours. There's lovely kind of, some amazing colours. I saw a beautiful kind of bronze one on someone's feed today. And these are really, really easy to grow. So you tend to buy them as one plant, but they grow from something that's called a rhizome, which kind of looks a bit like a tree root, I guess. And that rhizome, when you plant them, you make sure you plant the rhizome so it's like sticking slightly proud of the soil, and that means that the sun bakes down onto the rhizome, which improves the flowering. So that's something that's really important to do. And over time, I planted one of these last year or the year before, and already you can see that it's multiplying. So these are a really, really good one. You don't need to do too much with them other than divide them every couple of years, probably about every 3 years. So I just kind of leave mine alone. I'll chop them down once they finish flowering, allow the foliage to die back, and again, that's a really easy one that you don't have to do too much with. Right, on to the next one. I'm hoping the next one's going to be popular. I think it will be. So here we go. Angling me back down again a little bit. So I've got 2 that I want to talk about here. Just make sure I'm not sitting on an ant's nest. So the first one is the lovely peony. Now these I think are Kansas peony, and I had these in my wedding bouquet along with some coral charms. So they are very special to me. I love them, but the only thing about peonies is they are quite fleeting, aren't they? But I do love having them in the garden and cutting them for the house. So if you're a peony fan, they're a really great one to grow. You can buy them in bare root form, which basically they kind of look like a shriveled old piece of nothing, to be honest, which you can plant in the ground. But you can also buy them as ready grown plants as well. So it depends how you want to go about growing that. Over time they will flower more and more. They do like full sun, obviously, and they do like to be watered quite well. But I really like peonies because even though their flowering is so fleeting, I tend to, if I haven't already cut the flowers for the house, I will cut the seed heads off and then just leave the foliage in the border, so it actually kind of fills a gap for me, and the foliage goes a lovely kind of almost like bronzy colour as it dies back. So again, it although the flowering part is short, they do they do provide a bit of structure and a bit of colour in the border even later. Now the next one, and this might be slightly, I guess, not controversial, but probably not a particularly popular choice, is this little lovely plant here. Now this is called veronica. This is a purpley one here. They also come in white and like this is a pink. They also come in white and kind of almost like a bluey purple as well. So I really love these. I think I first fell in love with them when I used to use them quite a lot on a flower stall that I worked at when I was at university. And when I got my own garden, it was one of the first plants that I planted actually. These are really, really great for cutting for bouquets, but they also just add a really nice different shape, I guess, to the border. So a lot of the flowers I've got are kind of big, round, sort of dramatic heads, but I think this kind of spire shape is a really nice addition, and it's quite a low plant as well, so it's really good at the front of the border as well. And then on to my last one, just one last little walk here. Getting a nice tour of my garden here is, now I've got to make sure I put you so you can see, is my Queen of Sweden roses. Now you can't actually see my face, hang on a second. Move it up a little bit. There you go, you can see that one there. So yeah, roses. A lot of people might think that they're not low maintenance, but actually in reality roses need a snip back at the end of, at the end of the season, so kind of October time, just to reduce the height a little bit. And then I give mine a trim again in February around Valentine's Day, and this promotes some good flowers coming up. There are a few pests that come with them, so you do sometimes get green fly on them, but actually if you've got a nice sunny spot and you love roses, my personal view is that they are a really, really great addition, and you don't need to be constantly doing things with them. They need a little bit more care than perhaps your allium bulbs, but twice a year. And what's it going to take you to cut this plant? 10 minutes. I've got a really good video on my channel of mindful rose pruning that will show you how to do it in February as well, so make sure you check that out. So right, let me just jump up. So that is it. I hope it's been useful, and I hope it's given you a little bit of inspiration. So if you have got a sunny border, a few ideas of things to plant. If you would like any more help or assistance, I do offer one-to-one garden coaching, so we can set up a time to have a chat through your specific garden if you'd like some advice on that. Or if you prefer to learn in a group, I do have my How to Grow Cut Flowers course on my website, so do go and check that out. You can head to the link in my bio and all the information is there. Thanks so much. Have a great week. Bye.